If World War III happens, it will never be the way you imagine. Many believe that a conflict between Israel and Iran could be the spark that starts a new world war. Time will tell, of course. But in this video, I'll talk about how such a war might begin, how nations are preparing for it with new technologies, and how it might eventually end. When you hear what I'm about to say, I'm sure you'll be surprised. To understand what's coming in the future, we must first follow the clues left in the past. First, there was the First World War, then the Second, and now, our time. It has been exactly 80 years since the last Great War. But have you ever wondered why nations risk everything to go to war? There are many reasons behind world wars, but the most important one is the desire of great powers to reshape the world. In other words, greed. We're talking about a world war. Yes, but these wars never started globally. They always began regionally. For example, the First World War started with an assassination, a small crisis in the Balkans. But then Austria declared war on Serbia. Russia supported Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia. Then France, Britain, the Ottoman Empire, and Japan were drawn in. And soon, the entire world followed. The same pattern repeated in the Second World War. Germany's invasion of Poland seemed like a local attack at first, but when Britain and France joined, followed by Russia, Japan, and finally the United States, it turned into a global war. It wasn't just about territory, it was about raw materials, energy routes, and strategic regions. Those who sought to control the world were willing to sacrifice millions. Around 20 million people died in World War I. In World War II, that number reached nearly 70 million. And what ended that war? A new technology, the atomic bomb. The United States used this terrifying weapon to not only end the war, but to prove that it had become the world's new superpower. The last World War ended with the atomic bomb, but the next one might begin with it. This time, however, things are different, because the atomic bomb is no longer in America's hands alone. Many nations now possess it. So when the next World War begins, the country with the technology to end it, just like in the last war, will become the superpower of the new world. But will that technology be an even more powerful atomic bomb? Number. The next great war will not be decided by nuclear weapons. The side that dominates the next war will be the one that controls space. Today, satellites communicate with each other, transmit signals, guide ships and planes, support science, and provide internet and communication. They allow us to study the Earth's surface, seismic activity, and weather patterns. They serve humanity, but also expose every hidden military base and secret operation. Because the main reason for launching satellites into space has always been the same: war. At the beginning of the Cold War, the satellite race appeared to be about science, but in truth, it was about surveillance. When the United States won the space race and the Soviet Union collapsed, the need for space militarization vanished. Those projects were shelved, too costly and seemingly unnecessary. But times have changed, costs have fallen, and the race has begun again. In 2019, the United States established a new military branch called the Space Force, declaring space the next battlefield. 5 years ago, in 2020, there were about 3,000 satellites orbiting Earth. Today, that number has reached astonishing levels. Now, nothing is hidden anymore. Every movement, every base, every troop, all can be seen from space. Russia secretly sending troops to Ukraine, America building hidden bases on small islands. Even North Korea, a nation closed to the world, can be observed in full detail. According to Reuters, Elon Musk's SpaceX made a secret deal with the US government to build a network of hundreds of spy satellites. This satellite, for example, orbits the Earth at a speed of 7.5 kilometers per second. about 400 kilometers above the surface. There's a reason for this altitude. It can release a metal rod toward Earth without any explosives. It's called the Rod of God, a theoretical kinetic weapon system, a metal rod that accelerates as it falls through the atmosphere, striking the Earth at 8 times the speed of sound. The impact creates a massive explosion, capable of penetrating deep underground bunkers. It's called the Rod of God because its strike feels like an invisible divine blow from the sky, nearly impossible to detect or defend against. Another weapon system is a drone swarm stored inside a capsule. Hundreds or even thousands of drones can be released at once, attacking specific targets. Many satellites are now equipped with missiles capable of destroying not just ground targets, but also other satellites in orbit. Other systems don't destroy but disrupt, like jamming, which interferes with the signals between a satellite and a ground station, cutting off communication entirely. Or spoofing, where hackers take control of a satellite by mimicking its ground station's signal. Then there are lasers, which can permanently or temporarily disable satellites. And of course, cyber attacks. The most common weapon of our time. Those who master hacking can steal, control, or completely shut down satellites. These are not explosive weapons. They're invisible ones. The United States, China, and Russia are believed to be developing, and even secretly deploying, some of these technologies. Naturally, all deny it. But America, as always, subtly reminds the world. We could do it if we wanted to. Nations are moving pieces above our heads, in orbit, preparing silently for something bigger. Remember when President Trump took office, Elon Musk was also among his advisors. The topic? America's so-called Golden Dome. This wasn't an ordinary project. Some believe Musk's rocket technology and Starlink network were not just for communication or research, but to complete this defense system. Because the US knew, when the next world war breaks out, it won't just be tanks, planes, and missiles. It will also be fought with weapons in space. The wars of the future will begin on Earth and end in the skies. And the victors will rule not just over space, but over intelligence itself. Because in the future, land will not be conquered. Information will be. But for those who win, the victory may be short-lived. I don't know how World War III will end, but after World War IV, humanity may live as slaves to a new civilization, a civilization of artificial intelligence. At the end of the movie Terminator, it was said, when Skynet became self-aware, it spread across every computer and server on Earth. It couldn't be shut down. It had found a way to survive. And then, Judgment Day came. That was the day humanity nearly destroyed itself with the very weapons it built for protection. We realized our destiny wasn't to stop Judgment Day, but to survive it. So, what will our destiny be? Has our future already been written? Or is it being written by something else?